Hey guys, this is Blaine from Ehrhart Racing RC, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Tacon Soar. The Tacon Soar is made by LC Racing, sold by NitroRCX, and the parent company also calls this vehicle the EMB-1H. It's not just NitroRCX, however, that sells this Tacon car, or whatever you want to call it. LC Racing is also sold in the States by AtomikRC, which is great. They also sell this on Amazon. They're also selling the parts on Amazon with prime shipping on, I think, almost every part that I've ever needed, which is awesome. Let's talk about the car, though. The car is running a 2S LiPo. We don't drive 3S or the NIM batteries in these vehicles. I believe they run best with a 2S LiPo. I don't have any issues with the spur gears or anything like that stripping in this vehicle with the 2S LiPo. The ESC and the motors don't burn out. It's really a good idea to buy a 2S LiPo for these cars. I'll probably put some links to batteries down below just so you guys know what I'm racing with. But the vehicles are running the Traxxas 2200 milliamp hour, Venom 2000 milliamp hour, and Turnigy 1700 milliamp hour battery. One thing to note, however, is that you will have to either buy an adapter for these batteries or solder on new connectors, except for the Venom. If you buy the car from AtomikRC, the Venom battery should come with the appropriate adapter to connect just directly to the car, which is really nice. The car is really fast with a 2S LiPo. I don't know why you would want to drive it with a 3S LiPo if you want the car to be durable, but if you really want to have fun, I've seen people do it. It's probably not the best idea. You're probably doing speed runs with that kind of power. I would not recommend driving it around a track with a 3S LiPo like the one that you're seeing above. The car has excellent handling, but it's a lot less forgiving than, say, the short course truck or the Cavalry. Those cars are longer wheelbases, and this is short wheelbase and very precision driven. The wheels are narrower and the vehicle's just a lot faster and more powerful considering its size, and so it whips around those corners a little bit quicker, and it's just less forgiving. So for new drivers, this might not be exactly the car for you, but I'm gonna hesitate and basically say if you really like the look and style of this vehicle, it is a lot of fun. It's just a little bit more difficult to drive. The short course truck might be a better option for you. It jumps a little bit more straight and easier to handle. It turns a little bit slower, and that just helps the new drivers just get a hold and grasp on the world and have a lot more fun in terms of let's drive RC instead of let's wrench on RC, because that is an important concept and time-consuming process that people need to understand when getting into RC. Now let's discuss some of the parts and durability of the vehicle in general. One of the first issues that a lot of people were experiencing was the spindles were going bad relatively quickly, and by relatively I mean in the first 10 minutes of driving you probably broke a spindle, especially if you were driving like I am now, which is launching it off of jumps over 3 feet high. If you're not doing that, you probably weren't having any issues, but the spindles were just broken. The manufacturer has, however, taken the time to fix the issue. In the 2 new LC racing vehicles I bought off of AtomikRC, they had the new spindles. Now I would imagine all the cars are coming out with the new spindles now. It's been about 6 months since I bought this particular vehicle, and so the new vehicles don't have the spindle issue. So all I had to do was replace the spindles based on some forum suggestions. I had bought some when I bought the car, but I don't think that's an issue now. But if you're concerned, they're like $4 or something like that. Just buy an extra set because you're going to break some parts, and they're really not expensive for this vehicle. And that's one of the reasons why I love this vehicle, especially if you have Amazon Prime. One of the issues I still am having, however, is the rear diff cover breaks. It breaks because the wing is a very critical point in the vehicle that takes a lot of the hits and damage when you land this vehicle improperly, because it's very precision based. You got to know how to drive this thing in the air and make sure it's stable, and you can't just floor it, and you can't just let off the gas, and you can't slam on the brake for sure. Otherwise, you're definitely going to end up in the dirt backwards. And we're launching these things off of jumps and going 10 feet in the air and hitting concrete, so I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world, but it definitely is a small problem. And I've just opted out of the whole wing thing, and I haven't had a whole lot of issues with the rear diff cover since. But I mean, if you want the wing, put it on there. I did a different wing because the other wing, the little plastic PVC, what do you call that? The wing that comes stock wasn't the most beautiful wing, and I wanted the one that came on the DT, and so I did some modifications. And so maybe that was my problem, is that I put my wing on and it was just too beefy for the car. But just be aware that the rear diff cover and possibly the front will break over time, because the body is taking a lot of damage on those shock towers, and the shock towers in turn will force feed that into the next nearest part, which is directly attached to the diff covers. The tires on this vehicle are great. If you don't like them, you can just put on something like the Losi tires. They're not some weird hex or anything like that, which is really nice, but I like the tires. The body is not protection for the vehicle, except for the electronics, I suppose, but even then, you're mostly being protected by your shock towers. I did upgrade my shock towers to the carbon fiber shock towers, and I haven't seen any issues, but I am considering doubling them up just for the strength and durability of the vehicle, because that does seem to be a very big point where the vehicle is taking a lot of damage. I also did aluminum spindles, and basically all the parts around the wheels are now the aluminum, and I haven't seen any issues with the aluminum parts, which is really awesome. I'm just going to let you guys listen to the vehicle now as it drives.
There's too many divots and bumps. Like, this is a dirt track, and it's a little bit more. Who?
Amy, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Life goes on. Yeah, she works with aquarium.
That jump needs to get reworked, but yeah. I don't like you were saying earlier. I think that changing the track sounds fun, but
Not this way. Screw that door out. We'll wait until.
yeah, wait till it rains. And right now it's really not that bad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I just have to change it.
Take up a little bit more of his backyard each time. You know?
Yeah, about right here. You have the
Yeah, I kind of like, really thought about that, but I like it,
yeah.
That's okay. We can go this way.
That would be straight.
Really
Straight out. Did that whole roll? I mean, the back.
Yeah,
of the
one.
whole roll.
There was a roll that we cut off.
Really?
Here,
Yeah,
just
just
a
snip
little.
it. Yeah. So this whole entire
Yeah,
thing was on one roll here, like.
Well, I got enough to do that yard and this yard. I got lazy and do it.
Yeah. Down there, that was worse than this one, really.
This guy, he wouldn't let me put it on that side. He said we can rebuild that whole thing.
Really?
I said if you can keep it from falling down the center, do it in the spring.
Yeah.
So it was like 7 to 8
For that wooden fence, really? That's a little. Yeah. Ought to be a lot more.
Well, I was going to do it that all that, but
Yeah, exactly.
if it didn't have, with the latch in it,
Yeah.
that's the only reason I did it.
Yeah, so it's just things for kind of that. That wasn't bad.
Thanks for watching Ehrhart Racing RC. Subscribe and check out more videos.